You ever feel like you're stuck in your own head? Like, no matter how hard you try, you just can't stop overthinking everything?
Oh, all the time. I used to think it was just me, but I've realized that a lot of people struggle with it. What's on your mind?
It's just, I keep replaying this conversation I had with my boss. I feel like I said something dumb, and now I can't stop thinking about how he might have taken it the wrong way.
Let me guess. You've gone over every word in your head, analyzed his tone, his facial expression, and probably even imagined the worst possible outcome?
Exactly. I keep thinking, what if he thinks I'm not serious about my work? What if I ruin my chances for that promotion?
Jake, that's classic overthinking. And trust me, I know how exhausting it is. But let's be real. Do you really think your boss is still thinking about that conversation?
Probably not, but what if he is?
See, that's the trap. Overthinking tricks you into believing that worrying will help you find a solution, but all it does is make you anxious.
So what do I do? I mean, how do you stop overthinking when your brain won't shut up?
First, let's talk about why overthinking is such a problem. It might feel like you're solving something, but in reality, you're just making yourself miserable.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's like my mind is constantly in overdrive.
That's because overthinking increases stress and anxiety. When you overthink, your brain triggers the same stress response as if you were actually in danger. That's why your heart races, your muscles tense up, and you feel on edge.
Wow, that makes so much sense. So my brain is basically treating a simple conversation like a life or death situation?
Exactly. And it doesn't just affect your mood, it also affects your confidence. When you overthink, you start doubting yourself, and that can hold you back from taking action.
That explains why I sometimes struggle to make decisions. I get so caught up in what if I choose the wrong thing that I end up doing nothing.
Yep, that's called analysis paralysis. You get stuck thinking so much that you can't move forward. And the worst part? Steals your happiness because you're always stuck in the past or worried about the future instead of enjoying the present.
Okay, so if overthinking is such a trap, how do we break free from it?
There are actually several strategies that can help. The thing is, overthinking becomes a habit, and like any habit, you need to consciously break it. Let's go step by step. First step is to recognize when you're overthinking. Sometimes we don't even realize we're caught in a spiral of negative thoughts.
That makes sense. So, how do you recognize it?
Well, ask yourself a few key questions. Am I replaying a situation in my mind over and over again? Am I imagining different what-if scenarios? Am I analyzing every little detail, even things that don't really matter? Am I focusing on things I can't control? If the answer is yes, then you're probably overthinking. Just being aware of it can help you take control.
That's a good point. I do catch myself replaying conversations that already happened, even though I can't change them.
That brings me to the second step, focusing on what you can control. Overthinking often happens when we stress about things that are out of our hands.
Like worrying about how my boss might have interpreted what I said?
Exactly. You can't control how someone else feels or thinks, but you can control how you act moving forward. Instead of worrying about the past, focus on improving your performance at work.
I see what you mean. Instead of stressing over what my boss might think, I should focus on doing great work.
Exactly. Shift your attention to things that you can take action on.
But what if I just can't stop thinking about something?
That's totally normal. That's why another great strategy is to set a time limit for worrying. Give yourself, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes to think about the situation. During that time, you can analyze it, reflect on it, or even write it down. But once that time is up, move on.
That's interesting. So, instead of letting my thoughts control me all day, I can schedule my overthinking and limit it?
Exactly. It helps you regain control instead of letting your thoughts take over your mind all day.
I like that idea. But sometimes I overthink because I don't know what to do next. I get stuck in analysis paralysis.
That's a common problem. Overthinkers tend to analyze too much instead of taking action. The solution? Just do something, anything. Even a small step forward is better than staying stuck.
So instead of worrying about whether I should go to the gym or not, I should just put on my shoes and go?
Exactly. Once you start moving, it's easier to keep going. Action breaks the cycle of overthinking.
Sometimes my brain makes me believe that my worries are real. Like, if I think I'm gonna fail, I start feeling like it's actually true.
That's called a cognitive distortion. Your brain is tricking you into believing a thought that isn't necessarily true. The best way to fight this is to challenge your thoughts. How do you do that? Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or just my emotions? What's the worst that could actually happen? Has this ever happened before, or am I just imagining it? What would I tell a friend if they had this same thought? Most of the time, you'll realize that your worries are exaggerated or unrealistic.
That makes sense. So instead of believing every negative thought, I should step back and question it.
Exactly. Our thoughts are not always reality.
Another thing I noticed is that overthinking always keeps me stuck in the past or the future. I either replay past mistakes or worry about what could happen.
That's why mindfulness is so important. It helps you focus on the present moment instead of getting lost in endless thoughts.
How do you practice mindfulness?
One simple way is to focus on your breathing. When you notice yourself overthinking, pause and take a few deep breaths. Another way is to engage your senses. Notice what you see, hear, and feel around you. Brings your attention back to the present.
That sounds simple, but I bet it takes practice.
It does, but it's worth it. The more you train your brain to stay in the present, the less power overthinking has over you.
You know, I think part of my problem is that I want everything to be perfect.
Perfectionism, the enemy of progress. Overthinkers often try to make the perfect decision, but the truth is, perfection doesn't exist.
So, how do you deal with that?
Accept that done is better than perfect. Perfectionism causes stress and procrastination. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Just do your best and move on.
That's a good reminder. I spend too much time worrying about making things perfect instead of just doing them. Wow, I've learned so much today. Overthinking has been making my life stressful, but now I see that I can actually control it.
That's great. So, what's the first thing you're going to do to stop overthinking?
I'm going to stop letting my thoughts control me. Instead of worrying about things I can't change, I'll focus on taking action.
That's a perfect mindset. And for anyone watching, what's one thing you overthink about? Let us know in the comments and let's break this habit together. Loudspeaker, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on personal growth and mental clarity. Party popper.